Did Patrick Mahomes reveal the Chiefs' draft plans today? Me and Mike are going to talk about it. We're also going to give you our last collaborative mock draft, what we think the Chiefs are going to do tomorrow. Let's go.
You're listening to All Chiefed Up.
Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. A little late. Sorry about that. Mike had to get in a new Airbnb and get settled in, and then I kicked my computer and shut it completely off. So we're struggling with it a little bit, but we're here.
Struggling.
We're here. That's all that matters. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks for your patience. Do us a favor if you haven't yet, hit the like button. Let's get this out to as many people as we can. We're 24 hours away from the draft, brother. About this time tomorrow, we're going to be looking at who the Chiefs are picking, and that's going to be exciting. So can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. But Patrick Mahomes, he had a presser today, and I watched it, and I was intrigued, man. I don't think he meant to, but I think he put some clues out there for everybody, left some breadcrumbs for you. He was talking about what he's been working on this offseason and what the team's focused on and the offense and this and that. And he said, like the whole point that they want to get back to is the deep shots and the high-flying offense, and that was the whole plan for last year. But it got gutted when Hollywood Brown got hurt on his first play in the preseason. And then Rashee Rice getting hurt didn't help. And they kind of had to change plans. And they started playing that small ball Alex Smith type stuff that we were used to seeing years ago. And I think that's what they kind of had to stick with because of, injuries. Well, he said that they have the receivers to do that this year, Mike. He's very confident that with Xavier Worthy in his second year, Rashee Rice back healthy, and with re-signing Hollywood Brown, that they have the receiving core to do it. And he said also, we're wanting to add to the passing attack.
Yeah.
So that told me right there that if there's a receiver for their taking somewhere that fell a little bit or someone that they have high up on their board, they are not going to shy away from receiver. They are all in on this passing attack. According to Mahomes, that's kind of Andy Reid's, that's his thing. He's ass backwards. He wants to open the run game with deep passing. It's not open up the deep passes with run game like we always preach and bang the table for. He's completely backwards on that. He wants to get the long pass game going again. He wants Patrick Mahomes to get out of his head and start slinging the ball. And this is what me and you've talked about on this podcast for the last year, probably what needs to happen. But I think we see that everybody's on the same page. They just had their limitations. So what do you think that says about this draft coming up? Do you think that was a little bit of a clue on what they might do?
Yeah, I think it is. I think the Chiefs, there's several things I think they could do in round one. I know a lot of people want to see defensive line. Let's talk about some of the people, Steve, that Chiefs Kingdom is just super horny about. Like, you've got certain content creators and talking heads. They are only acting like there is 4 players in this entire draft.
Yeah.
I mean,
tell you the same ones over and over again, right?
They are so pigeonholed on Josh Simmons and, there's who's the other one here? Derek Harmon, Walter Nolan. I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. I think all 3 of those guys are long gone before we pick, and I don't see how Brett Veach is going to trade up to go top 15, top 20 to take one of these guys. We need all the picks we can get. We can't be giving them away, Steve, because the way the Chiefs are built, is you pay the guys at the front end. Patrick Mahomes takes a lot of money. Okay, you've got to build through the draft. You've got to keep adding to wide receiver through the draft because we don't pay him. You've got to keep drafting young defensive talent, be it corner, be it linebacker, be it defensive line. You've got to do that. So in my opinion, after you just paid Jalen Moore $30 million over 3 years, I think he's got an out in 2. I don't think anybody is slated to come in and start over him. I know you could always say, well, Josh Simmons. If Josh Simmons falls to the Chiefs, I don't think that they would not take him. I think that would be a very big possibility, Steve. But I just cannot see us giving up 3 picks in our draft to move up to take Josh Simmons to theoretically let him sit.
Well, that was something else that Patrick Mahomes talked about today in the presser. And the only reason I'm referring back to that is because we're very, very close to the draft, and they were kind of picking his brain. They asked some good questions. They had some of the guys that you're used to asking them questions on there, like Matt Derrick and a couple other guys. They asked some pretty good questions. And one thing that he brought up was that offensive line thing. Like, they're like, hey, what about left tackle? They're very confident in Jalen Moore being the starter. And if they're very confident in Jalen Moore starting over there and him actually doing his thing,
Yes.
why would you spend a first-round draft
I
pick on a
don't
guy that's
think-
not going to play?
You're right. I do. Look, I'm seeing a lot of offensive guard mock to the Chiefs. I think that you're off base. Yes, we lost Joe Tooney, but I think Kingsley, Wanye, somebody's going to be able to step in there. We already heard kind of Andy Reid come out and say, look, it's probably going to be Kingsley or Caliendo. We've heard that.
Yes,
and so
yes.
you've basically got 3 guys that could step in and play that. Plus you drafted C.J. Hansen last year. Hunter Norzak could probably play guard, to be honest.
I think
So
you need to be looking for a guy that can do both. A hybrid type guy that can play tackle, can play
Yeah.
guard, somebody that can move around.
I don't think the Chiefs pressed to get an offensive tackle in this draft early.
I don't see. I mean, could it happen? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Do I
it
think
very well could.
Do I think it will? I don't. I really
Steve,
don't.
if it happens, people's going to say you guys don't know what you're talking about. If it don't happen, and we're right,
You don't know
people
what you're
still
talking
gonna say
about
you don't know what
anyway.
you're talking about.
You
So
don't know
yeah,
what you're
it
talking
is
about.
what it is. My light just come on, and my God, it is bright. So let's get rid of that.
baby. Stephen P., a new member. Appreciate you, buddy. Welcome to the crew. Let's go, Stephen. Y'all show him some love in the chat. Welcome aboard, sir. Good to have you. But yeah, man, I think that they're really set on this Jalen Moore kid getting a shot at this. I mean, they saw him playing behind Trent Williams. He actually had to start several games last season. He did well. His tape's good. I think they like what they see. It's a ton of upside. And it's also a guy that has experience under his belt and got to mentor under the best left tackle in the game.
Yeah.
I think it's a great pickup by the Chiefs, and I think they're very confident in that. To me, if you look at it, you could go get Josh Simmons. That's great. I think he is a back end of the first round talent. I think he is. As long as those medicals are good, I think Josh Simmons has a chance to be a decent left tackle in the league. If nothing else, a good right tackle. And so, yeah, you could do that. But what's going to be more reliable? The rookie that you're taking a shot on with an injury history, or a guy that's already been in the league, has experience under his belt, and still has the same upside?
Yeah.
So I really don't see them taking a shot on the tackle in the first round.
Look,
don't.
I'm also not 100% sold. I know Chiefs Kingdom hate Jawaan Taylor, and they think he's just gone. As soon as this season's over with, he's
I'm not
cut.
sure about that. Yeah.
I'm not so sure the Chiefs are in that same boat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jawaan Taylor played better this year than he did in his first year. He got better. He got better blocking, run blocking, pass blocking. He had a few bad things. He got better with penalties. I know he still had a lot of drive-killing penalties, but he got a little better. So theoretically, he's still like 28, 27 years old. If he was to step it up again this year, it's possible they just rework something with him.
Why wouldn't
You
they?
never know.
Because, I mean, that contract, it stinks, right?
It's
we
scary
never liked
in a
it.
way. Because
We never
I'm not a
liked-
huge Taylor fan, though,
Well,
right?
we've never liked the contract, right? We thought it was an overpay. And at the time, I absolutely believe it was. But now, over time, over the last 3 years, it doesn't look that crazy to pay right tackle that much money. I mean, with the salary cap continuing to go up and offensive linemen's salaries are continuing to go up, people setting the bar left and right, there's a lot of right tackles making more than Jawaan Taylor now. I still think he's top 5. But there are guys making more than him.
He didn't restructure it. He did that same thing Patrick Mahomes does, where he converts.
Well, here's the thing with Jawaan Taylor.
He did that last year.
Jawaan
so
Taylor,
theoretically, couldn't they do it again?
They could. And Jawaan Taylor, literally, he's good. Like, he's a good tackle. He has some stuff to clean up. Like, hey, watch the penalties, watch the false starts, watch the holds. But, I mean, honestly, when he plays, he had a little bit of a funk last season, but he's pretty damn good, honestly.
If he could stop the penalties and stop going through those ups and down lows and just get right in the middle, he's borderline maybe a Pro Bowl caliber guy.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of people are
Like,
convinced
that's
they're
weird
just
to say, but I don't think it's that far-fetched.
It's really not. But, I mean, Jawaan Taylor, everybody thinks they're going to cut him after this third year because they left an out in the contract. I mean, that's the obvious thing,
So
right?
that's why people are saying Simmons, at worst, he can do the right tackle thing.
Right, but I mean, that's the obvious thing. Like, you look at it and you're like, oh, they left an out here, they can cut him and be done.
That's what we
with
said
it.
about Kingsley last year. Oh, well, he could go play right tackle.
No, but
Wanye,
my
he can go
point
play
is
right tackle.
just because there's an out there in his contract doesn't mean they're just going to cut him. It doesn't. It really don't. I mean,
Yeah.
they could restructure something up with him. Maybe they want him. They just want to pay him a little less.
Steve,
Maybe they
Chiefs
want to spread
Kingdom
it out.
would implode.
Dude, I'm telling you, they always think the grass is greener, like Chief are saying, but yeah, everybody thought the grass was greener when they wanted Orlando Brown gone, and it has been hell since he left.
Here's the thing about Josh Simmons. I like Josh Simmons. I think if he doesn't have the injury, patellar tendon, I believe is what it was, a patellar tendon. I kind of
Taylor tendon.
I kind of just said tendon. Yeah, I don't think they're very concerned about that. But look, if that didn't happen this year, I do believe he would be a lock top 15 pick. I think as it sits now, I still think he goes top 20.
I think 18 might be the ceiling for him around Seattle.
From everything
honestly.
I'm reading and hearing, Steve, I think he could probably go top
that's
20.
And that's my point with why I don't think the Chiefs are going to make a stunning move for a tackle. I just don't see them trading up that far into the draft, losing that much draft capital when they have Jalen Moore sitting ready to go. I don't see it. Yeah.
Again, coming off of a surgery, and you don't really know how he's going to look in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, we could talk, we could tell them what we think's going to happen.
Yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to our final mock, Steve.
Yeah, we did a mock draft apiece of what we think the Chiefs are going to do. We already put those out there. They're on our old live stream. You can go find them if you want to know about that, or you can go over to X, follow us on X. They're posted on there. But we thought we would do one that's collaborative. Me and Mike put our heads together, figure out what we want to do or what we think the Chiefs want to do. And try to give you the best version of what we think the Chiefs will do tomorrow. Does it mean we'll hit anything? No. But we've done pretty good in the last 3 years. So
this year,
year's
Steve,
tough.
I think this one's wild.
But, we say that every year, too. It's almost like a safety net for us. Like, hey, we're not stupid if it's wrong. No, but no, this one is a little more difficult, in my opinion, than it has been. But I still think we put a good little list together here, and we can start going over it. And I think you guys will like what we put together. And y'all, as we go, let us know what you think about in the chat. We'll try to hit the chat as we go and keep you guys in the loop and participating as much as possible throughout this live stream because we want to get your all's opinion on it too. The draft's tomorrow, man. So the talking's over.
Here's what I think you should do. Every single pick, Steve, go ahead and end the poll right now. Can you end the poll? Are you ready to do that, or are you not set up for that?
I can be.
In the poll, let's see what everybody said we were going to take in round one. Let's see if We'll unveil round one pick when you unveil the poll. And then every time we make a pick, you have the chat grade it. Let's let everybody be super interactive today.
All right, cool. Hey, also, we have 138 people in the stream just on YouTube. 47 likes. So let's fix it. Let's get more likes. Let's get more likes. Okay, right now, Mike, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll.
I'm going to say a lot of people think probably defensive line, offensive line. That's got to be the...
So 38% thought offensive line, 38% defensive line. So trenches it is. Half and half, split down the middle. Then wide receiver, 18%, cornerback at 4%. And that was with 98 people that polled. So right at 100.
I'm with you, Steve. I think if you want to look at that, though, corner was the lowest. I don't think the Chiefs spend a round one on corner. If they did, it's got to almost be Trey Amos. That's the one they've been talking to. Steve, I've seen, I think it was Mel Kiper's latest mock. He said Trey Amos could go to the Bills right before we pick yet again, which is funny because we're always battling with the Bills over corners, it seems, year in and year out. I don't think the Chiefs will reach for a corner in the first round. I believe they'll stick around with a corner. Brett Veach said he likes between round 2 and round 4, so I think the corner's probably out.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. This one's really hard. It could kind of go a bunch of different ways. But, yeah, I think you're like...
Well, obviously, if a good one were to fall all the way to the end, like, you can't rule that out. There could always be some guy that just slips through the cracks, and you're never going to... You can't account for it, right?
Right. Well, no one thought Trent McDuffie was going to fall into the mid-20s. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, look,
get him.
Tet McMillan could fall through the whole draft somehow, and he could be sitting there at 30.
And then what do you do, right?
And then what do you do? You're like, oh, arguably the best wide receiver on the board.
Yeah, but I don't want to post a poll every pick, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. When we go over the pick, you all just put in the chat who you would take at the first pick, right? And we're not going to do any trades in this. We're just going to stick with what they got and try to just stand pat and go with that. And as we pick, you guys put who you would pick in the chat. I want to see it. Also, yeah, there's I see people talking about other channels and different draft analysts and stuff like that. Daniel Harms is brought up in the chat. Love Daniel Harms. Cool guy. We've had him on the show a few times. So respect to Daniel. But he's got some hot takes this time around. He's saying some wild stuff on this.
Yeah, he said some wild shit. I don't even know what else to say.
I think he's just trying to get a reaction out of people at this point. He literally said that Ashton Genty wasn't a first-round talent, which is mind-blowing. Said he wasn't in the same league as Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs. Poof. Mind-blowing. That one's pretty bad. Then he also said today on X that Matt Golden is not first-round talent and should not be picked in the first round. Like, so he's saying some wild things out there. Maybe he's trying to get a rise out of you. Maybe he just really has that gut feeling about him. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's fun to go and watch different people and see what they think. And that's the cool thing about it. You get a lot of different perspectives. And as Chiefs fans, you guys, you get a lot. There's everybody and their
You get a
grandma
lot.
started a Chiefs YouTube channel.
There's a lot, but there tends to be a lot of echo around just one or two
There are.
players, 3 players. And
Yeah,
people-
man.
It's
Yeah.
wild.
For sure. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So let's go with pick number 31.
Yeah, here we go. Let's jump right into it, Steve. Again, we think Simmons is probably going to be off the board, but look, if he's sitting there, they may take him. We think Derek Harmon's going to probably be off the board. A lot of Chief fans want Derek Harmon. We think he's probably off the board. If he's there, yes, they could possibly take him. Who's the other one everybody's horned up about? Walter Nolan. Yes, if he's there, they may take him, but I think Walter Nolan's probably going top 15, top 20.
And that's a sketchy pick for that high in the draft.
But still, I think he goes 15, 20.
Yeah, I mean,
So
a lot of
for me-
upside with him, but it's
For
yeah.
me, there's a logical player
Coin
sitting out
toss.
there, Steve. Me and you. There was a logical player that has fell possibly to the end of the first, although I did see somebody mock him number 16 today. So he is climbing back up.
He's been floating up and down,
He's
right?
floating up and down. He's a guy that we think that the Chiefs would not pass if he's sitting there, especially with what Patrick Mahomes said today. And we're just going to pull the trigger on it, Steve. At number 31, if he's sitting there, we're taking Luther Burden.
Yeah,
We think the
absolutely.
Chiefs will take Luther Burden at 31 if he's sitting there. I think after what Mahomes said today, it's hard to pass up a Luther Burden, especially if you were to have another injury to Rashee Rice or Hollywood Brown. You've got to keep these guys going. Even Xavier Worthy, he's a little guy, takes a lot of hits. He could go down at any minute. You've got to keep fueling the fire. You've got to keep adding to the wide receiver room, and you got to do it on the cheap because we don't pay him. And I think
Exactly.
Luther Burden is a perfect fit. 6 foot 206. He can fly up the field. Dude, that 2023 tape he put out was immaculate. There's just something about that tape. And I think if he's there, Brett Veach, he's Brett Veach's wet dream wide receiver, isn't he?
Well, here's the thing, man. We've talked about this a lot, but the Chiefs need something to rock the boat on this offense because
Yeah.
it has been stale.
Steve Pat
And
said that today.
Even Patrick was like, look, we've got to get back to a high-flying passing attack. We've got to take the deep shots. He said, I've been watching a lot of tape. I miss people. I was giving defenses too much respect. I wasn't taking shots. I wasn't
Who
giving
said that throughout the year?
Exactly. And he's like, and I got guys out there, like, he's like, the only positive you could possibly take away from the Super Bowl was when I said, screw it, and threw the ball down the field, and Xavier Worthy was making plays. He was making the plays. So he's got to give his guys a
All
chance.
season say that Patrick Mahomes was aiming the ball, not throwing it. He wasn't saying screw it. He wasn't looking like Patrick Mahomes. He was playing way too conservative.
Right.
The offense was stagnant. We've got to put a spark plug up their ass. We've said this all year long, and everybody, you're all negative. All you do is complain. All you do is whine. You guys are stupid. You're fair weather fans.
We call it like we see it. And
We call it like we see it, and we said that Patrick
It's fine.
Mahomes probably thought the same way, and lo and behold, who thought the same way?
Exactly. But the thing about it is he literally, I don't know if it was a slip. I don't know if he meant to throw that out there. I don't know if he was just talking candidly, but he said they are looking to add to the pass attack. He said, we have what we need, and we're looking to add to it. Luther Burden would be a hell of an addition to an Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, and Juju Smith-Schuster. You throw in Luther Burden, who's dynamic as hell, insane ball after the catch, just fast. He doesn't drop balls really.
Yeah.
Like he kind of checks all the boxes. He can do a lot of different things. He can move them up and down the line. He can play in any position. Primarily, I think he'll be in the slot a lot if they do take him. I think that's where he's going to work from. And he's going to be a nightmare for teams that are looking to cover everyone else on the field. I mean, it's just all their Luther Burden ran a 4.4, I think. I don't think he hit the 4.3s. I'm not for sure.
I don't remember what his official number was. It was a little slower than people thought.
But it's still nothing to scoff at.
It was a 4.41, but I don't know what he did his pro day. He may have went faster at the pro day.
Right. You're already looking at 2.42 guys on the field with Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. Rashee Rice, of course, a 4.5 guy, but we've seen the speed he plays at and what he can do. So, I mean, this would just be a nasty addition. And then you got, we got end of the career Travis Kelce, but he's still Travis Kelce. You can't ignore him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be definitely be a nasty addition. Now,
Steve, I was going to say, in an alternate world, if you did have a Nolan or Derek Harmon sitting here, would the Chiefs consider them over Luther Burden? It's very possible. We're not saying that. We're not saying if all three of these guys are on the board, they may do that. Or if Josh Simmons is on the board, they would 100% take Luther Burden over him. But I do think it's a possibility. But we thought Luther Burden had the best chance of being there at 31. And so that's why we decided to take Luther Burden. I think he's one of the big 4, big 5, big 6 that just feel like they fit with the Chiefs. And I believe if he's there, I think they have a hard time passing that up.
I think they're going to go all offense in the first round regardless. I think if they do pull something out of their hat that you're not expecting at pick 31, it's going to be Travion Henderson from Ohio State as a running back.
That's another
So
good one.
I think if it's not Luther Burden, be prepared to eat a first-round running back.
Still can't see Brett Veach throwing out a first-round running back. But I think if they did it again, Travion Henderson fits the mold.
If they want Travion Henderson, which I think he fits perfectly.
Yeah, you have to
and you think that he's not going to be there in round 2, which he probably won't, then maybe they take a shot there. But I think if Luther Burden's available, they stick with that. I don't think that any of the defensive tackles, be it Nolan, Grant, Harmon, you name it, even if they are there, I don't think any of them are the next Chris Jones or anything like that. I don't. And I don't think they're going to put that much stock into a defensive tackle right off the bat. I think they have other plans, and that's just where I'm at with it.
Okay, man. Well, Luther Burden, that's what we decided to go with. I think it was a good one to get going. I just really like everything Luther Burden offers.
Let us know in the chat how you would feel. Let us know in the chat how you would feel if they end up with Luther Burden at number 1. Is that something you would love, something you don't want, or are you indifferent to that? Just let us know. It would be pretty wild for them to take wide receiver back-to-back first rounds, but I think the way that they have been kind of fielding that receiver position through the Patrick Mahomes era, I think it's something you have to invest in.
Yeah, I just feel like if he's sitting there, he's really hard to pass up, though, right? I don't see how you pass him up.
Mary
if you're the
says
Chiefs.
A+. James says love Luther Bird. Nikki gives a thumbs up. Jonathan says he'd be horned up with that pick. We got an A from American Teen. I think people like the Luther Burden pick, and also Brian Parrott was on the same page. He was saying it before we even said it. Yeah, I think this would be a good pick for the Chiefs, and I think everybody would be pretty excited about it. Okay. So let's move it on.
Round of applause. Let's move on to round 2. So the Chiefs just locked up a wide receiver, Steve. We're getting the deep game going. We think they're going to shift to the defense on the second side, or on the second in the second round.
Yes.
There was 2 players that we battled out here, and we decided that we think that one can be had at pick 66, the L'Jarius Sneed pick, and maybe both could be had at 66. So really, these could be switched. They really could. But we just went ahead and went with we took a corner here. We took a corner, Steve. We took Darian Porter.
Yes, sir.
I like Darian Porter here, man. I think he fits everything Spags likes to do, and he's athletic.
Why do you do this, you ask? Why would you want to take a corner, and why would you take one that's potentially that you're reaching on? I think Darian Porter is good enough to be the end of the second round, but he's projected around the third round. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm possibility. The Chiefs like to get their guy when they can get their guy. We've seen over the years they've overdrafted people. They took Brian Cook way before he was projected. They've done that with other people. If they see their guy and they want him, they go for it. Now, why would they go for a corner in the second round of this draft? Well, Trent McDuffie. Right there, you have to have some kind of a bargaining chip with him because you're going to have to pay him a boatload of money. I don't think they want McDuffie to go anywhere. They they traded up to get him, so they've invested a first-round pick in him and some other draft capital. I think McDuffie breaks that mold of them not signing corners back, but I think this gives them a little bit of leverage. And also, Darian Porter's a guy that's going to play on the outside. So even if they do keep Trent McDuffie, they can just have the best nickel corner in football. And then you're still looking at Christian Fulton. They only got him on 2 years. Jalen Watson, guys, I don't know if he's one that the Chiefs are going to re-sign. I'm just going to be quite honest with you.
He could, though. But either way, I don't think Josh Williams is going to be.
No, but even Jalen Watson, as good as he can be, he's injury-prone as hell. And he's not as good as Chiefs Kingdom thinks he is. Now, at the beginning of the year last year, before his injury, he did rank in probably the top 5 or 6 corners. He was really good. But we do tend to overvalue that kid. You have to remember, 7th-round talent, we got a lot more out of him than we were expecting, right? So I think right here you could take Darian Porter. This kid tested off the charts athleticism.
Doesn't Jalen Watson fit the mode of what the Chiefs do, though? With drafting those guys late, getting a lot out of them, and then letting them walk on their first contract.
Letting them walk, right? So I think that they take this kid. I mean, he ranked, what is that, 2nd in all the corners in athleticism. He's long. He's got the length. He's got the speed. He ran a freaking 4.3 40. 6'3", 195 pounds. He's a ball hawk. He's smart. And here's the best thing about Darian Porter. He's pretty young. He was converted from a wide receiver, so he's barely scratching the surface of what he can do at corner. The ceiling is sky high with this kid. So, I mean, they have a lot that they can do with him. And not to mention, if you have forgot, we have Dave Merritt, who I think is the best, defensive backs coach in football, period. And he gets the most out of his guys. And I think Darian Porter, if they take him, Mike, he could be a force to be reckoned with within a couple of years with the Chiefs. It could prove to be a ridiculous pick.
Yeah, well, okay. So at the pick we took him at, which was 63, again, he could probably be flopped with number 66 as well. I think these two could be flopped back and forth. It doesn't really matter. We just put Porter first. Steve, there was another couple guys we considered here at the corner position besides Porter as well. We talked about the possibility of maybe Jawaan Taylor falling a little bit.
Yeah,
and if he were to fall a little bit, the Chiefs haven't really spoken to him or shown any interest, but he very much fits what the Chiefs do. And because he's coming off injury, if he were to start slipping in the round 2 and he starts getting down to, say, pick number 55, 56, 57, the Chiefs may come up just a tad bit and just take Jawaan Taylor out of nowhere.
So we lean towards Darian Porter because the Chiefs have met with him and shown interest in him, correct?
Yeah.
And that's why we kind of lean towards him. But Jawaan Taylor Jr., that kid was slated to be like a top 15 pick in the draft before some injury stuff.
Yeah.
So if he's there, the Chiefs love value. If there's anything Brett Veach likes, it's value. He probably burns up the McDonald's app because you can get the value menu, right? So, I mean, if he thinks he's getting a good deal, Brett Veach will jump on it, and he is a great corner. And, I mean, I'm talking like super athletic, and I think he's definitely a few steps ahead of Darian Porter, but there are some question marks with his knee and things. So we lean towards Porter, though, because the Chiefs have showed interest in him. So that's what we're going to roll with at pick number 2 in the second round. Mike, let's go to pick 66. And like you said, this could kind of be interchangeable. Darian Porter could be picked in the third round with that pick, or this guy could be picked at 66 or 63, I mean. And we went with Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle from Ohio State. So they definitely need defensive tackle help. And we talked about how I don't know if they want to go first round to get it. I don't know if they think that's necessary. And I think if they could get a guy like Tyleik Williams at pick 66 or is this one
66?
Yeah. It's absolutely insane and incredible value. Once again, Brett Veach, he's looking for value, right? Tyleik Williams is a very overlooked guy in this draft. He is nasty at defensive tackle. He collapses pockets. He gets pass rush. He stuffs runs. He plays with a nasty-ass attitude. He's competitive as hell. Like, he fits the script for somebody you want in there, dude. Like, he is a monster. And this guy's not getting talked about with the rest of these guys we've mentioned. So if he were to fall to this slot, I think the Chiefs would be, like, running to the podium to get a guy like this, because this is a dude that could go beside Chris Jones for the rest of Chris Jones' career in Kansas City and really enhance his game, and not to mention just become a force himself.
Yeah. Look, he's compact. His body frame, everything about this kid is good. Like, he's powerful. He's just a guy that's going to line up on the interior. He's going to help you shut down the run. He's got enough juice to get after and collapse a pocket. He holds the line of scrimmage really, really well. He's got good vision. He can get off and get to a running back. He's not afraid to, do the dirty work. He's not always trying to be cute and just get after the quarterback. He will sit in the pocket, do what his assignment is, and he'll hit the running back, or he'll just play his gap. And it's just, he don't have the greatest pass rush ever, but you don't really need a great pass rush coming from a guy that's playing next to Chris Jones. You need a guy that's gonna cause them to be like, look, we can't start double teaming Chris Jones because this big cat right here is just throwing people around.
Well, that's the thing, dude. He's basically not. He's not a game wrecker like Chris Jones, where he's just gonna, constantly be getting after the quarterback. But he is a game wrecker in the aspect of he literally overpowers centers, guards. He will bull rush the hell out of them, and he has them in the backfield almost every play.
And he can still shoot gaps. He's still quick. Steve, I've seen him. He could be a day 2 guy. He could be a round 2. I think early round 3 is a great fit for this kid, and he could go sooner than this.
Yeah.
He reminded me a lot, Steve, of a guy that we tried to bring to Kansas City a few years ago in a little trade when we were talking about we needed some defensive tackles. And do you remember a guy out of the Commanders that I really wanted to go get?
Daron Payne?
Daron Payne. That's who he reminds me of, and I think we can finally snag him right here. And I think after putting Luther Burden in round 1, you got that athletic corner in round 2, and now you can put Tyleik Williams here at the first pick of round 3, or you vice versa him with Porter. Doesn't matter how it works because those picks are so close.
Right.
I think that's a hell of a start.
It is, right?
To a draft.
Y'all get in the chat. Let us know what you think about round 2 pick with Darian Porter, round 3 pick with Tyleik Williams. Mike, for me, it horns me up a little bit.
I shall call you Boner Thorith.
That's what I think about it. You guys let us know what you think. Also, I think I hear a bit of a train rolling in here,
Let's roll,
baby. Let's go. What do we got? We got Peter Ortiz, the legend himself, in the house. 10 gifted memberships. Let's go, Peter.
That helps us, Peter. Appreciate
Hell
you,
yeah,
brother.
man. Appreciate that. It goes a long way. That train's still a-rolling because I didn't make it stop. Because Brenda Pike says, here's 5 more, baby.
Let's go.
Here's 5 more. Love it.
Horned it up. That's 15 new members to the ACU crew, ladies and gents. Welcome them in. Welcome them in.
Yes, sir. If you got one of those memberships, make sure to thank Peter and Brenda in the chat. You guys are legends, by the way. Thanks for the support. It's been a tough month for the old football content creation, let me tell you.
Hey, it's been a tough month in life
Yeah.
for us this month, believe
Bro,
me.
it's been super slow on the content side. It's been super slow on any kind of like monetarily, like trying to keep a business afloat. It's been tough. It's the dead ass of the off season, right? And it's been awful. And then Mike's flooded out of his house, been living out of Airbnbs.
Been living out of an Airbnb.
It's been insane. So we appreciate the support from you guys. You guys are awesome. It goes a long way. It really does. And we love it. We appreciate you. And speaking of, Pete Ortiz ain't done. The freaking 50 bomb. He says, God bless you,
Let's
Mike,
go,
and
baby.
your family. You're a badass. Appreciate you, Peter.
brother.
Yeah, Mike's been going through it this month, guys. It's been tough for him and his family. So,
Yeah, it's been rough.
yeah,
But,
it sucks. Maybe you should move out of the flood zone.
We're making it work. We're making it work. Look, I had to take some time off for the draft over the past week. Put on my Bob Vila, put on my Bob Vila construction belt and get in there and reframe walls and put down floors.
More like
who
Bob
would've
the
thought?
Builder.
Steve, I didn't think a guy with this pretty of a face could build a wall.
Can you build it? It's Bob the Builder. You're not Bob Vila. You're a cartoon
Bob
character,
the
son.
Builder. Okay. It is what it is. Appreciate you, Peter. Appreciate everybody.
Yeah, you guys are
You guys
amazing.
are awesome.
All right, let's get back to
Steve,
this draft, man. What are people
Let's jump
thinking?
it in, dude.
Let's see. Before we go on, I want to see what people were thinking about the other 2 picks. Let me hit this chat real quick. Jonathan says A++, horned up, baby.
Super horned.
Mary Likens, Porter A, Williams A+. I'll take it. Like, dude, I'm telling you, like, if this was the first 3 picks, I would be full blue chewed out. Like, I mean,
too.
this is killer. This is killer because not only are you shaking up that offense a little bit and getting a weapon and kind of giving Patrick Mahomes some more confidence to get back to that gunslinging mentality and confidence for Andy Reid to just be like, hey, get your ass out there and sling this thing. But you're also solidifying the defense in 2 different ways, like for the next 3-4 years. And it also puts you in a good position when it comes to bargaining with guys like Trent McDuffie or Jalen Watson or whoever it might be.
Yeah, not to mention Porter can probably fly off the edge on corner blitzes like you've never seen. He's blocked like 6 kicks in college. He's an instant special teamer. Dave Tobes fired up and horned. Everybody's horned up for these guys. Steve, I think we just got to get to pick number 95. This is our second pick in round 3. And
Yeah, baby. Keep that horn train coming in. Let's
you hit
go.
the nail on the head here. You want a guy that can do multiple things.
Absolutely.
And boy, have we found one.
This guy, I'm telling you, he might go a lot higher than than the general public is expecting him to, because if he's going right here, he is a diamond in the rough by every aspect. Shout out Landon Carter, by the way, new member. Welcome to the crew, baby. Appreciate you.
So we're going to go pick number 95, Steve, our 4th pick of the day.
Love
after
it.
Burden, after
Love
Porter,
it.
after Tyleik Williams. We're finally going to address the offensive line, and we're taking Wyatt Milum.
Hell yeah.
Steve, 6'6.5", 313, 10.5 inch or 10 1/4 inch hands. Now his arm length's a little short, so they say he can't play left tackle.
Boo-hoo.
But look at me, Steve. This cat played over 2,000 snaps in college and never let up a sack.
Dude, that's insane.
Nobody's
and they
arm
weren't
length-
playing pushovers.
Yeah, nobody's arm length just magically decided not to grow for the past 3 years. So he's been going up against these guys. And not to mention, if you move him inside the left guard, which people say we need, he's instantly Joe Tooney. This kid is a Joe Tooney-esque type of player. I think he could
100%.
have that kind of career.
Mike, as you mentioned, over 2,000 snaps at left tackle in college football at West Virginia against good competition. 0 sacks allowed.
But he don't need to play left tackle because Jalen Moore's going to do it.
Right. Now but here's the thing. Okay. Are you not so sure about Jalen Moore? Are you not 100% that he's going to be hanging out? Cool. Well, now you have a guy like Wyatt Milum who, hell, by all metrics, he was better at pass protection than Simmons, if you want to go that far with it.
He was better than anybody in the draft.
Right. So this kid can play left tackle if you have to have him there. But if
Tooney.
If Moore pans out, this is a dude that literally takes over Joe Tooney, and he is a young Joe Tooney. This kid would be a all-pro, not just Pro Bowl, all-pro guard in the National Football League.
And
100%.
Steve, at worst, we've said it over and over again, if he has to play right tackle, you've got a damn good one.
This kid is a Swiss Army knife on the offensive line, and not like the ones they took last year. Not a Hunter Norzad. He's not C.J. Hansen. This guy's light years ahead of them. Yeah. This kid could very easily go in the second round as a tackle, and people would be ecstatic with that. And I think if he falls to this juncture, dude, and the Chiefs were to grab him, that is a freaking win, because you not only did you get a guy that can go in behind more if that doesn't pan out, but you also have a guy that I tell you probably his rookie season would beat out Caliendo and Kingsley Suamataia at playing left guard. So, I mean, it just opens up a lot of doors for the Chiefs, and you know they want to invest in the trenches. So, I mean, it's got to be insane, man.
Steve, he's instinctive. He plays with heavy hands. His footwork is good. It's not great. I think that's where they get to, his footwork's
but there's
not
room
great.
for improvement, right?
But there's room for improvement. And look, at some point, all these guys are going to have to start developing under our coaches. If our coaches cannot develop some of these guys, you've got to put it on the coaches. It can't always be the players at this point.
Right. Can we take a look at his score breakdown at the Combine?
Go for it.
That is number 1 in all offensive tackles at production.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, total score, that's a 4. So total score out of all of them, 4. So people want to talk about Simmons. They want to talk about Connerly. They want to talk about Ursery. There's all these guys. He's right there in the mix. And he's sliding through the cracks. People's overlooking him.
Football intelligence off the charts.
Yeah, I just think this is a nasty pick, dude. It would be
He's a good kid, too. Born and raised in West Virginia, stayed in West Virginia. Steve, he was our number 10 rated offensive tackle. And if you put him to guard, he's a top 5 guard in this class.
Mike, I had him up higher than that. I was a little more horned on Milum than you were. But, yeah, he's still a top 10 easy. Brenda Pike with the 20 bombs is a little help to row yourself out of there, Mike. Appreciate
Thanks.
you,
I do need a boat. I do need a boat.
You put that in the kayak fund. I want to see Mike out there just trying to go, baby. Appreciate you, Brenda. That's awesome. And then Valerie, our girl with the 20 bomb, always supporting. Appreciate you, Valerie. That's freaking
Thanks, Valerie.
awesome.
Appreciate you
Thank you guys so much for the support. It goes a long way. We got a lot of work to do this week, by the way.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be doing
We've
draft
live
stuff
streamed
like crazy.
every day so far this week, and then we're going to live stream, try to do 100% of the draft if possible, if we get enough support during it. Because, I mean, obviously, every other channel and their grandmas are going to be live streaming. So if we can get enough people to be with us and make it worthwhile as far as hanging around for hours on a live stream.
Your boy's got a pretty good track record with the draft. I'm just going to say it. Not the toot. But, I mean,
toot, baby.
We kind of know what the draft is. This could be a year. Steve, I'm expecting it to be a down year for us, though, man, because there's been a lot of off-the-field stuff for us. I'm going to say that. So if I was to miss this year, give
it's
me
okay,
some.
Mike.
Give
We'll
me
give you some grace.
Me a little bit of grace. Yeah.
Peter Ortiz swinging back in with another 5 memberships.
baby.
Let's go, my man. If you guys get one of those, make sure to thank him. He's a freaking legend, by the way, if you haven't noticed. So appreciate you, Peter. And then Randy Holland with a 20 bomb says, in Veach and Andy, I trust. Appreciate the support, Randy.
Let's go, baby.
And yeah, I mean, I think Veach and Andy, so far, they'll pick a stinker from time to time. But I mean, overall, I think they do pretty well in the draft. I mean, because throughout this dynasty run, they've had to replenish through the draft. You have to. There's no way you can sign all these guys. We've seen it over and over again. People got really sad about Snead. Well, guess what? We saw that one coming from a mile away. They're always looking to replenish on these and like hit on draft picks and get the most you can get out of them in the first 4 years, right? So I think the draft is something that they have to hit at, and they have to be very vigilant when it comes to picking the right guys, because if you don't, you can get yourself in a pickle real fast, the way this is going. So, so far, I think what we've picked, Mike, once again, if it were to go this way through the first 4 picks, I'm slapping an A+ on that bad boy all day long.
Yeah, I don't have any problem. And look, let's keep it going. Pick number 133, round 4. I think they stay with the offense, Steve. And a lot of people said we need a running back. We need a running back. Steve, did we take Devin Neal? Because I really like Devin Neal. We didn't.
It was tempting,
Devin Neal
right? It's like the local guy.
Doesn't Devin Neal feel like maybe he's so much like a Kareem Hunt style that I think that the Chiefs I don't think they want that style anymore. I think they want somebody that can hit a home run, but he can also carry a workload. And they need somebody that could just come in, get those tough short yardage, but also be able to break it out if they have to. And they've been going a lot, Steve, to some bigger backs in this draft. There was an interest in Caleb Johnson at 6'1", 224. There's been interest at Quinshon Judkins at 6', 221. There's been interest in Ollie Gordon at 6'1", 226. Why are we looking at all these big backs, Steve? I thought we just want the short home run hitter, the fast, the scat backs,
that's the
Travion
thing.
Hendersons of the world.
There's a guy that kind of falls right into that mold, but he also is a little bit smaller than some of those guys. I think he's actually a little bit smaller than what he weighed in at the combine now. I think he had actually beefed up for that. But the Chiefs have shown a lot of interest in this kid. And I think that this could be one that they pull the trigger on, and that's going to be Damien Martinez, running back from the University of Miami, 6', 217. At the combine, ran a 4.51 40. This kid is a workhorse back, like straight up. And the thing about it is, not only is he a workhorse back, but he brings that home run hitter mentality as well. He can break off big plays. He's excellent through contact. His balance is impeccable. He breaks tackles consistently. He possesses exceptional balance throughout contact, and that's the thing. A lot of guys with like Isaiah Pacheco, I feel like we're knocking on old Pop a lot this offseason, but I really don't mean it. Love the kid. I think he's a good running back. But you do see him get ankle tackled more than you would think from somebody that just loves contact like Pacheco. You don't see that as much with this kid. I think it's just because of how good of his balance is. He stays on his feet. His vision is super impressive. He can navigate through interior running lanes with ease. It's like he can slide through the tiniest of tiny holes. He brings thunder as a finisher. He's going to hit you. He will seek the contact, and he will win on those because he delivers punishing blows to people. Short area quickness is through the roof, especially for his size. Just real nimble, great footwork, great tempo. That's the thing. We've talked about a lot of that with Pacheco and a lot of the other guys. It's like just – they're ahead. They're ahead of themselves. They don't have great field vision. They're not patient. This kid has all of that. Like, he is a guy that runs with great tempo, good patience, and great field vision. And he still has that burst, and he possesses soft hands. He can be a great receiving back. So, I mean, I think he fits the mold, man.
Yeah, Damien Martinez at 217. Look, Devin Neal, that was another guy we thought about right here. But he's 5 pounds heavier than Devin Neal, and he's 0.3 of a second faster in the 10-yard split. He's 0.7 of a second faster in a 40-yard dash. So if you think that Damien Martinez is too slow, then Devin Neal's slower. So that's kind of my point. Like, this kid is big, he's strong, he's physical, he can carry a huge workload, he can grind it out. It's a more I think he's actually going to be helpful on those 3rd and shorts. We looked a lot better with that last year, but that's still like a crutch for Andy Reid in this offense.
With Kareem Hunt now, though, I mean, you kind of got that on lock. I feel very confident giving Kareem Hunt on 3rd and
but
4th.
Kareem
short,
he's
4th and
not going to
short,
be here forever.
Right. Now, there are a couple of downsides to Damien Martinez. And like you mentioned, a lot of people think he doesn't have that true home run speed. But I mentioned earlier, I feel like he is a home run threat in a sense because from the tape that I saw, he breaks into the second level pretty damn consistently.
He does.
Now, he might get caught from behind on a long run. But, I mean, he's going to get you chunk yardage like crazy. And that's really all you could ask for. And the only other thing I don't like about the kid is because there were a little bit of off-field issues, I should say. Back in 2023, he had a DUI arrest. So, I mean, obviously, that's pretty scary for the Chiefs, especially with the close calls we've had with Rashee Rice. And, of course, the Xavier Worthy thing ended up being a crazy person and not him. But, I mean, aren't we kind of tired of the off-field issues in Kansas City? I think we're kind of over it. So, that's definitely something that they've probably grilled him about.
I think that's why they brought him in for a top 30 is they wanted to see about that. I think they're comfortable with him, Steve. We've not heard any character issues out of him. I think that you chalk that up as it was a mistake. He learned from it, and so far it looks like he's moved on.
That's something they're definitely going to grill him on in an interview.
He's had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and that's with Miami. That's with Oregon State. This past season, he had a 127.5 elusive rating. That is monstrous for a guy at one point that people thought was playing at like 220 to 225. That is insane. Like this kid had 722 yards after contact, which put him in the top 50 in the entire NCAA. He had 13 carries of 15 plus yards, which put him in the top 80 in the NCAA. So he's got that, Steve. And then PFF also graded him an 84 in zone and a 94 in gap, which means no matter what style you're going to be able to run, he's going to be able to do it. Massive frame, powerful build. This dude can just straight up do it. And you want to know what? I think he shows good effort in the pass blocking fundamentals. There's a little bit to be desired there, but again, that's something that can be taught. And so he's got a lot of forced missed tackles, and he averaged over 6 yards a carry. And the Chiefs definitely need somebody that can average more. Last year, I think we averaged 3.1, 3.2 yards a carry. So we've got to get somebody like this. And I like the pick, not to just sit here and harp on Damien Martinez over and over again. But I do like the pick. I like where he's going. Now, the Chiefs could surprise us. They could take somebody like a Bashal Tootin. That dude scored off the charts.
Smith.
They could take a Brashard Smith. They really could go that lightning route. You know, they may not go the big thunder route. Or, again, they could just stick with like an Ollie Gordon or somebody like that. But
Ollie Gordon.
They've been talking with these big backs for a reason. I don't know if they're blowing smoke or what. But, Steve, I feel comfortable with Damien Martinez.
One thing with Damien Martinez, too, and a lot of people that are on like the Devin Neal train or even DJ Giddens or something like that around this time, I think Damien Martinez, he seems to me when I watch the tape to be a more willing blocker. Like he could definitely improve in pass protection and things like that or picking up blitzes, but he's very willing to stick his nose in it and create contact and just be in the middle of it. And I think that goes a long way to that because you can improve on picking up blitzers or this or that. But if you're not willing to get out there and do it, that can be a detriment. And the Chiefs need somebody that's going to be able to protect Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that's a good one, man. I really do. I like that. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's keep it rolling. So we don't get a 5 and we don't get a 6.
Keep it moving.
Okay. We don't get a 5, we don't get a 6, but we're going to get 3 7s here. And 2 out of these 3 you guys may not be familiar with, okay? But that's why we're here. But the first one on the list you are familiar with because we've done a video about him. The Chiefs went to his pro day. They sent Connor Embry out there. They were one of the only teams out there watching him besides the Cincinnati Bengals. They actually ran the drills for him. It's another wide receiver. We went ahead and double-dipped at wide receiver here. And the reason is because this is another big-bodied wide receiver. And I feel like we're probably nearing the Josh Ross era. Justin Ross, I'm sorry. We're probably nearing the Justin Ross era. We're probably, they didn't go back and get MVS when he became available last year. They've moved on from Justin Watson. But I still think they need a guy, Steve, that's big and tall and that can stretch the field and run that MVS style.
I wish Chris right, but he's going to be long gone.
It's not Tesla. Yeah, we think Tesla might go round 5.
Love that guy, though. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with Nebraska wide
Isaiah
receiver
Neyor.
Isaiah Neyor, 6'4", 218. He's got almost 35-inch arms, 9.5-inch hands. Steve, he's a monster. His athleticism score was second overall in the entire
Yeah, is that a
combine.
2 I'm seeing there out of
Yeah,
all wide
it's a 2.
receivers, right?
Now,
Yeah.
look, a lot of people don't think he's got what it takes, and he's probably going to fall in this draft. He could even be a UDFA. I think if he gets to the 7th round, the Chiefs could very well take a shot here. In the 7th round, you're basically just taking shots on players that you think.
Yeah, you're throwing darts.
You're not
right?
expecting nothing, too crazy. But I do think they could take a shot at Isaiah Neyor if he's here right now. Neyor actually done a lot of good stuff. At 6'4", 218, he's got elite size. He has an elite 40-yard dash. He was clocked at a 4.4 at 218, 6'4". He's got an elite 10-yard split at a 1.51. That 1.51 10-yard split is faster than Jamar Chase. Think about that. And he's got the longest arms in the entire draft class at wide receiver. Put that together with a 38-inch vert, Steve, and if you want to go deep, Patrick Mahomes wants to go deep, you got Luther Burden, you've got Rashee Rice, you now got Isaiah Neyor that could develop into that MVS role. And look, you may not have Hollywood Brown pass this year. Maybe we don't work out a deal with Rashee Rice. Maybe we can't get that going. You never know with this wide receiver room what's going to come and go in a year. You're definitely not probably going to have Juju after this year. So
Right.
you got to just keep adding here, man.
Absolutely, and this is a great one to take a shot on if he's in the 7th round because he kind of dropped, I think, in the draft process just because he did transfer to Texas his senior year, and he didn't get to play a whole lot at Texas. He didn't get much playing time in. But if you step back to his junior year when he was still in Nebraska,
No, he was in Wyoming.
or was it
He
Wyoming?
played Nebraska after Texas. So he went from Wyoming to Texas to Nebraska.
It's Wyoming. You're correct. You go back to his junior year in Wyoming, 44 catches for 878 yards, an
Yeah, big
average
threat.
of 20 yards per catch. He had 12 freaking touchdowns, and his quarterback had a rating of 120.8 when targeting Neyor.
And that wasn't Josh Allen.
Absolutely insane. So, I mean, this kid can definitely add to an offense, and I think this could be one of those diamonds in the rough. People just aren't seeing him. He's got extremely reliable hands. He does not drop balls. He shows willingness to make catches in traffic. He's real physical. He gets off of press coverage pretty well. He can release up the sideline. He can out jump a lot of corners. He's a lot bigger, a 6'4". He kind of quicker than he is fast, which is saying a lot though, because he still run a 4.4, right? So he's got the long speed, but he's very quick in small space. And he's just a big dude with big hands, a huge wingspan. And when he has the ball, he's also a strong runner with the ball in his hands too. So he's going to get that yak for you, man. He'll stiff arm defenders. He'll lower his pads and hit somebody. Anything he can do to get that extra yardage. And the Chiefs have shown interest in Isaiah Neyor. They've talked to him 1, if not 2 times. So this is a guy that they definitely have on their radar.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think he's going to be, if he's sitting there, he's very much a guy that they could go looking for. Let's go ahead and move it along. We got 2 more picks here, and then we'll get to the chat. We'll talk with you guys. We'll wrap it up doing some fun stuff. Steve, these last 2 picks, man, these are basically just. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You got interrupted by Mr. Chris Wright, the legend himself, with 20 freaking
baby.
gifted memberships. Let's go, my man. Came in hot.
Let's go.
That's freaking awesome. If you guys get one of those memberships, make sure to thank him in the chat. Very generous of you, Chris. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
And man, I would love to get Tesla. That'd be great.
Tesla would be nice.
Mike,
wouldn't it?
you know, I like. I've even kind of played with the idea of seeing if you could convert him to a tight end. But that dude. Okay, so we're talking about Isaiah Neyor being the number 2 athlete in wide receivers in this combine or in the draft period. Number 1 was Isaac Tesla. It's crazy that both of those guys could be later in the draft. Tesla obviously be gone probably in the late 3rd, 4th round, probably.
Yeah.
But Nair's right behind him in athleticism, and he could definitely be a 7th rounder, if not a UDFA. But once again, shout out Chris Wright. You guys show him some love in the chat. He's a legend. Put some ketchups in the chat for Chris
Yeah, there you
Wright.
go.
I mean, he has
Okay,
his own
man.
damn emoji for a reason, so use it.
Let's go, baby.
Put that ketchup in the chat.
Let's get into Steve, this one's a good one, man. So at pick 251, and this kid could definitely maybe surprise people and get up into maybe round 6, round 5. He was flat out impressive at his pro day. A lot of people don't know this kid. We took Brandon George, linebacker out of Pittsburgh. And not a lot of people know Brandon George, linebacker out of Pittsburgh. He's not a name you know about. 6'3", 246, Steve. 6'3", 246. Brandon George, the Chiefs were at his pro day at Pitt. Okay. He put on a show. He turned heads. Listen to what he did at the pro day. He didn't even earn a combine invite. Okay. They didn't even invite him to Indy. So he went to his pro day and he put up. He repped 28 bench presses. He posted a 42-inch vert. A 42-inch vert, Steve. That's not a typo. Both of those would have ranked first among linebackers at the 2025 Combine. He then did a shuttle and a 3-cone drill that would have been the best in the linebacker position at the Combine. And then he went out and at 6'2", 246, put down a 4.63 40-yard dash at his pro day. This kid is a physical freak athlete. He scored a 9.8 out of 10 on the RAS. It's one of the top 70 all-time scores of our linebacker since the RAS score's been going since like 97, 93. This kid is an athletic freak. And the Chiefs do need some help at linebacker, Steve. We had Swayze Bozeman last year. We love Swayze. Swayze
got
moved
more
on.
PT than you thought.
He's in Chicago. Yeah, Swayze actually turned in to be a good special teams guy. Played a lot there at the end. He was actually playing in the playoffs. He was activated. We need these guys. Swayze's moved on. We need players like this that's going to come in and play and do that tough stuff. And this kid right here, he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's football smart, and he tests off the charts. Dave Tobe is going to freak out over a guy like this on
absolutely.
special teams.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
And in
He's
round
be a hell of a
7,
special teams player.
you can't beat a guy like this. And doesn't it just surprise everybody that we get to round 7 and there's probably some big names sitting on the board that everybody thinks the Chiefs are going to take, and they take a linebacker from Pittsburgh named Brandon George, and everybody's heads explode.
2 first names, but no, the kid's athleticism is through the roof, just completely explosive. A hell of a special teams player. The knock on George is going to be that he's older, right? But, I mean, if you're getting him in the 7th round, he's got a lot of experience. I think he ended up playing 6 years in college, so he's probably around that 23, 24-year-old mark. It's a little older than the Chiefs really want. But, I mean, this kid's got some experience under his belt, and he still has a lot of upside. I don't think he's nearly reached what he can do as a football player. There's just a lot of things that they can work on with him and improve. He can improve on. Because I think if you're going to knock on him a little bit, he's not that great in zone and man coverage. He's not going to cover very well. He's more of like a Leo Chanel type linebacker, in my opinion.
Yeah,
pretty downhill player that's going to rock running backs and do a lot of fun stuff. I think Brandon George would be a great pick for the Chiefs at that juncture in the draft, man. Like we said, you're kind of throwing darts, and who better to throw a dart at than somebody that's ranked one of the best RAS scores of all time? I mean, let's just get an athlete and see what we can make out of them, right?
Do you want to know where he had a top 30 recently? Kansas frickin' City. Not Kansas sick and Freddy. Kansas frickin' City.
Yeah, but no, man.
Top 30 with the Chiefs, man. They're all over the radar here. We love athleticism in KC, man. We like these guys that test off the charts.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is somebody that they're interested in, obviously. Top 30 visit for a guy that could potentially be a UDFA. That's saying something. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't really waste top 30 picks. So I think them talking to him and bringing him in for a top 30 visit, that's showing a lot of interest for this kid. So kind of liking it. I'm liking it, man. We got one more pick to go, though.
Last pick, man. Let's just get to it. The last pick on this beautiful mock draft, Steve. We're double dipping to the defensive line. And look, we didn't find an edge that we really loved. Do I think the Chiefs could go after a guy like a Landon Jackson in round 2? Absolutely. Do I think the Chiefs could go after, there's several guys that they could look at. Maybe a Fadil Diggs out of Syracuse. That kid can go after. Maybe a Jaw out of Minnesota. That's a guy that they could maybe go get. There's several different things. Jaw Joyner, I'm sorry. There's several different guys. Savion Jones would be fun in like round 3. Ashton Gilloty from U of L. That's another dude that maybe you look at, but he reminds me a lot of George Karlaftis. You've got to go get somebody that can like be that big disruptor. And I don't think that they're over Felix yet. I think they think Felix is going to get there. So I think they just double dip back to the defensive line and they go get a guy now. You've got your big run stuffer. You got that big run stuffer. Let's go get a guy that's closer to the Turk Wharton style. And so I think the Chiefs are going to take Keonte Hamilton out of Rutgers, Steve. 6'3", 300. Lance Zierlein has him as a priority free agent. We take him with the last pick of the draft. I mean,
Mr. Irrelevant, right?
Yeah, so Mr. Irrelevant. I'll show you. We'll just see what Lance Zierlein says about him. Here we go. We'll just read it right here. Recruited as a wrestler. The kid was a wrestler. Good hand placement right off the bat. Knows how to get leverage right off the rip. Hamilton has become a steady, durable defensive lineman. He plays with a nice blend of quickness and athleticism to circumvent blocks on the move. However, he's not that much of a forceful upfield penetrator and has issues playing with consistent tech savvy to anchor his gap against force, which means he's probably not as good versus the run. Okay. Here we go. Hamilton's rush production has been modest, but he flashed in 2024. He's a good athlete with room for big-time development, and he might not find the reps needed in camp to take that next step. With the Chiefs, Steve, he would get plenty of camp reps. Okay,
yeah, for sure.
He could take the next step because there's not a lot behind him. He did show more. He did flash more in 2024. It wasn't huge numbers, but the kid went out there and he did a good job for Rutgers. He played 51 consecutive games during his college career. He's impressive short area athleticism and quickness, quick to read and mirror lateral movements on stretch plays, a former high school wrestler. He knows how to knee bend and good leverage, active rusher with a quick slide and slip to open the edge. Steve, Keonte Hamilton also, and let me bring this in for you, look at this RAS score. We're not joking around. This kid had a 9.29, a 2.87 20-yard split, and a 1.7 10-yard split at that size.
That's crazy.
At 3.05 is insane. And then on top of that, look at that broad jump, 9 foot 2 inches, and 29 on the bench. This kid has all kind of athletic freakness all over him. I think you take a shot here, and maybe this could be like a Binky type player for us.
Right. I mean, obviously he's not going to set the world on fire or anything, and there's a lot of stuff that he needs to learn. You mentioned he could definitely use some help with his technique to kind of help against some force and stuff like that, maybe help in the run game a little bit. But, I mean, like you mentioned, he was initially a wrestler, or was recruited as a wrestler, so he knows how to win with leverage, and that's huge. Also, very durable. He played in 51 consecutive games in college. He didn't miss. He doesn't get hurt. He'll fight through stuff. And I think this kid just shows a lot of upside. I mean, you get a guy this late in the draft, the very last pick in the freaking draft. I mean, you're kind of taking a shot. And this kid's an athlete, man, and that's kind of the name of the game with Kansas City. I think that's what they do in drafts. They look for guys that just have peak athleticism for their size and weight and their position. And that goes a long way, man. You can teach a lot of things, and you can improve a lot of things, but you can't teach pure, raw, God-given athleticism. So I think the Chiefs value that a lot because they think that you can kind of mold a player as long as they have those. And I think that's kind of what you do with the late picks, right? You just find the guys that you feel like you can coach into a contributor, and I think that's what this guy is.
Steve, he's versatile. Did you know 4 of his starts for Rutgers this past year was not at defensive tackle? He actually played defensive end.
Yeah.
So he can move up and down the line. He had 4 sacks this year. So he could get after the quarterback. He had 4 sacks. He had a 10-yard split of a 1.7. That would have been faster than all but 2 tackles at the combine. Okay. 2 tackles clocked a 1.69. He clocks a 1.7. So he would have been 3rd fastest at the 10-yard split at the combine. And he would have, his bench press of 225, 29 times would have led all defensive tackles at the combine. It would have tied. It would have tied, my bad. It would have tied for first. So this kid, Steve, he's shaping up to be a big-time draft sleeper. If I'm not mistaken, Bobby Darin of Rutgers Scarlet Nation, which is a Rutgers, an outlet for the Rutgers.
Yep.
He said that Keonte Hamilton is starting to emerge as an NFL draft sleeper one day ago said he's starting to generate some buzz. So it's very possible you don't even get this guy picked here. He could slide up as, late round 6 or something like that. But if he's here, we take him. I like him. He fits us. He looked good at the Shrine Bowl. I think he actually played at the Hula Bowl, too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but I think he was at the Hula Bowl. I like it, man.
Buck and Bob in the house says, did you guys know that Jordan Mailata, left tackle for the Eagles, Mailata, however he says it, was a 7th-round pick in 2018? He just learned that tonight. Sleepers that can develop are real. It just goes to show you those draft picks, like even though they're 7th round, it seems like you're throwing darts. You can hit some guys, man. You can hit some guys in there out there. And I think that the way you do that is just by finding those really top-tier athletes, that you can mold a little bit, that just need to learn some technique or need a little bit of help. I think that's kind of what you want to go for. But yeah, man, that's it. That's our final mock draft collaborative. It's what we think the Chiefs are going to do in this draft. It's going to be fun to see what they do. And that starts tomorrow, man. It's freaking insane. If you guys don't care, if you haven't done it yet, hit the like button for us. It just takes a second. It helps us out tremendously. Shout out everybody that's donated and gifted memberships. You guys have been killing it tonight. Much, much needed and much appreciated. Appreciate you guys. You go ahead and get into any kind of questions. I'd like to take some questions from you guys. This is the last time we're really going to get to talk before the draft
let's take
gets
a few
started.
questions here for about 15, 20.
So if you guys want to talk about any specific players that you like or anything like that, or have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. And we'll try to get to you real quick before we get out of here tonight. And like I said, it's the last time we're really going to talk about the draft or speculate about the draft before it starts, man. So, tomorrow Mike's going to get on here before the draft, get this thing rolling. I'll be in probably by the time they're picking the 1st, 2nd, 3rd pick, something like that. And we'll be here to wait around, see what the Chiefs do. It's going to be exciting, man, for sure.
Steve, I've been reaching out to a few people that are big in the draft today. Just got a message back. I was wanting to find, there were some players that we were curious about. How high could they go? Where could they slide? Omar Norman Lott keeps coming up a lot. Okay. For us, and for me particularly, he reminds me a lot of Kingsley Suamataia did last year. He was every bit of what you thought he could be at left tackle, Kingsley. Like, we thought he could do it. We thought that he was probably the 5th, 6th, 7th best in the draft. We thought that maybe he could get into the back end of round 1. By the end of it, we said, it looks like maybe, some of the negatives.
The 2nd round, right?
They're going to outweigh, the negatives are going to outweigh the positives a little bit. He's going to slide a little bit. We put him in round 2. Sure enough, that's where the Chiefs got him. Omar Norman Lott, I felt, was that. Todd McShay had him as his number 6 defensive tackle just 2 weeks ago and said that he was very much just trying not to move him into the top 5. That's why he's seen out of him, because he is so explosive and twitchy. And it's all because that Tennessee didn't let him play the run a lot. Mel Kiper said that he thought he could be a 1st-round pick at one point. But everybody's starting to slide back just a little bit on Omar Norman Lott. And so I think he's just like Kingsley last year. So I still think Omar Norman Lott is on the Chiefs' radar. If, say, Josh Simmons or maybe Connerly, they go Connerly, or maybe Kelvin Banks were to fall to the Chiefs at the end of the 1st. I think now Omar Norman Lott in round 2 could be a possibility, just like Kingsley was last year. And I was wrong. I had him up at the top. I had him in the 1st. But basically, that's a 2nd-round pick, and that's what we did with Kingsley last year. I think the buzz is wearing off a little bit, and he still could go high. I don't know. But I'm going to settle back into about mid-2nd to late 2nd, early 3rd at the latest. It's going to be a top 100 thing for Omar Norman Lott. And that's what we're figuring out. Me and a couple draft guys that talk draft, we think that Omar Norman Lott's kind of cool, and he's kind of the Kingsley of last year. But the Chiefs tend to do that, and dude, I love the kid, though. That's a my guy for me, for sure.
You love you some Norman Lott. All right.
Omar. Well, Steve, he plays golf.
Here.
And look, if you play golf, A-okay in my book, baby.
Let me jump over here to the chat real quick. I see where I think it was Chief were talking about how there's a lot of drafts stream market. It's huge. So they think there's going to be a lot of trades in this draft, right? So I'm not sure if that's exactly what he was talking about, but like if you go read anything from any of the GMs, a lot of the insiders. They said that this is a very volatile first round where there could be tons of moves made, and way more than normal. That you can see people flying up and down the boards, this and that. So I've seen that a lot. Then I've seen a lot of draft day trades being projected, and I see Jay Fruzy brought one up here. Says Pickens unfollowed the Steelers today, so he thinks he might be a draft day trade. Maybe he's not happy with being the number 2 guy there now that they got DK, or maybe he's not happy about what they're wanting to do with their quarterback situation. Because I've heard from several sources that they're okay with starting Mason Rudolph. So, yeah, maybe something there's just not clicking. I don't know. I also saw a draft day trade proposed that would hit the Chiefs. They were talking about Isaiah Pacheco being a draft day trade possibility.
Wow. To who?
Anyone that wants him. Just because the Chiefs are not going to pay Isaiah Pacheco the money that he's going to garner, and that since they got what they needed out of him as a 7th-round pick, that they could trade him on draft day and get some draft capital.
What does he really garner, though? Like, I love Pacheco, but how do you hit the open market as Isaiah Pacheco and expect to get that much money?
It's crazy. I've seen some pretty big projections for him, and I think they're, like, inflated. But, yeah, they act like some teams really like him and they want him, and that's fine. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't necessarily think it will be. I don't really like it either. But, I mean, it's definitely out there in the ether, if you will. People's talking about it, and it's been a thing. So I don't know if there's any
Pickens
source to that, or
Pickens to the Packers.
Pickens to the Packers.
Pickens to the Packers. You heard it here
Picking
first.
and packing over there.
He's
in
gonna be
Green Bay.
packing and picking.
Sam Lofton says, "So did we ever talk about Jalen Travis from Iowa State?" We did a little bit, Sam.
We did a little bit. I really
So
like
this guy,
Jalen Travis.
This dude's a monster, right? He's 6'7", I think.
Yeah, he's
6'7", 315. So super wide base. He's a road grader, explosive first step, all that good stuff. They tried to say he had short arms for his height, and maybe he does, but they're still 35-inch arms. Like, so whatever.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. I mean, if you watch the tape, man.
Yeah, I thought he had good tape.
He's got good technique. He does show a little bit of room for improvement, which is great. I mean, that's not always a bad thing. He's got that mauler mentality in the run game, which the Chiefs love, i.e. Trey Smith. Some other guys they drafted like that too, that they didn't necessarily roll with, but Darian Kennard was that type of guy. He does have position flexibility. I think that he can be a swing tackle in the NFL. He can play right, he can play left. And he's a high character prospect. A lot of leadership traits. They like him in the locker room. They think that's going to translate well to the NFL. They think that he's going to be a guy that teammates love. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's some drawbacks to him, but I think that this is a guy that kind of gets overlooked a little bit when they're talking about left tackle, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think people are talking about him too much, but I think they should be, especially with the Chiefs at 6'7", 340. He's a monster, and I think he projects better to a zone blocking scheme, which is what we like to do. So I think in 2024 he only allowed a 2.5% pressure rate, so he doesn't give up a lot of sacks. He doesn't give up a lot of anything. I thought he was fine. I thought he looked good in drills at the Senior Bowl. I thought he looked okay. I think it was the Senior Bowl he played at. It was either that one or the East-West Shrine. It was one of those two. I don't remember what it was, but I did watch some of his individual one-on-ones. I thought he looked okay. He actually went up against Omar Norman-Lott one time, and Omar Norman-Lott destroyed him. And then that's one of the reasons that put Omar on my radar, because Jalen Travis was blanking everybody, and then Norman just kind of ran through him. And the next time he got him, he got the best of Omar. So he showed that he can do it. I think he's got some good upside. I really do like him. I don't think there's nothing wrong with him. I don't know where he would be picked. I'd say maybe round 5-ish to 6. You can start looking for him to come off the board. But he's played, over 1,100 snaps in 2 years at left tackle. And then in 2022, he played 500 snaps at right tackle. So he's all the way across the board, and he's only given up 5 sacks in 3 years. So I think he's completely fine. I think he's being overlooked a little bit. Yeah, I do know Sam loves him. So, I mean, I would be down for it. I thought he was one of my, if you're going to wait late to get a left tackle, I thought he's on my short list for sure.
Yep. Jonathan says Burden and Simmons are off the board. If you're Veach and the New York Giants call, and offers 34 in Jalen Hyatt, so they can select a quarterback.
Oh yeah, hands down. You
Dart,
take that.
do you do it? Absolutely.
I'd take that without Jalen Hyatt on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I would. Look, I would want maybe if you could.
Did you say you'd take it without Jalen Hyatt?
Yeah, forget it. I'll just switch it. No, I would want to pick, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying, like, you don't have to give me Jalen Hyatt. You could literally give me like a 4th round pick, and I'd probably take it. I'd maybe even take it for a 5th because we don't even have a 5th.
Yeah.
Like, I think you could get pretty good. I mean, you're only going down, what,
dropping
2
back
spots?
3, yeah, 3.
3 spots? Yeah, and who are they going to come up to get? I mean, they may be coming. Oh, Jackson Dart?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
I think you do that without thinking about it, actually. I mean, because it's
would.
really not that much of a difference in this draft to pick from 31 to 34. And if you get a guy like Hyatt, we were kind of down on Hyatt in the draft process. We thought he was kind of a one-trick pony,
was a
playing
Tennessee
there
guy.
in Tennessee. But actually, he proved to be pretty good with the Giants. I think he's got some upside
He
there.
stunk last year. I think they just didn't use him.
Yeah, they had a lot of things.
He's got a speed, though. Like, if you want a guy that can come in and maybe we can fix the career like Andy and them like to do, and you want a guy that can go deep, maybe it's a guy to look at. You never know.
Yep. Our boy Cole says, how high do you think Devin Neal goes and who drafts him? So I
Right.
think Devin Neal's probably more than likely the 5th rounder, early 5th, late 4th. That's kind of where I got him.
Oh, yeah.
I
Somewhere
think
like
I think
that.
his speed hurts him, but I do think he's an excellent football player. I think if you watch the tape, you can see that. So I mean, a team's definitely going to take a shot on him, probably about the end of the 4th round or early 5th round, would be my opinion. And who drafts him? That's a good question. I don't really know. I don't know if he's really their style, but I know the Cowboys are always digging for running backs. They've kind of had trouble there recently. Maybe you could think about like a Pittsburgh Steelers or something. I don't know. There's a few places he could maybe fall to, but not real sure. But I think somewhere around the end of the 4th round, I feel comfortable with Devin Neal going.
Yeah. He's got good footwork, good vision. I like everything about Devin Neal. I really do. I think he's Kareem Hunt-esque.
Yeah.
He looks so good watching film of Devin Neal playing at Arrowhead. It just looked natural watching him playing on
Yeah.
that field, man. And I think he does well in the pass
Right.
blocking
If so,
and things like that. So
If you went by our mock draft that we just did and they took Devin Neal instead of Damien Martinez, would you be that upset?
no.
Exactly.
I love Devin Neal. I think I like him, man. He's a multi-sport background player. Like, he's played all different kinds of sports. He's very natural, gifted athlete. That's just what he is. So, I mean, he's got limited deep speed. That's about it. I think he only run like a 4.6 or something 40. But I mean,
Yeah.
they said the same thing about Kareem Hunt, and I remember him breaking off a lot of long runs and taking a lot of passes to the house back in his rookie season.
Yep. Valerie, shout out Valerie, says appreciate the hard work for preparing for the draft, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for the gas, Valerie. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for everything that you do for us. And then also I had one here, Peter Ortiz, I lost it, but he wants to know, who do we pick to stop the run? So yeah, we talked about that a little bit today. I think Tyleik Williams is a great guy that can do a lot of different things for you. So I think that's maybe the most recent. Another guy I had on my radar that I really like is kind of a my guy, but he's a little bit older. He's 24 years old. It's Alfred Collins from Texas. I think that guy's a monster in the run game, and also he can absolutely wreck pockets and help other pass rushers. Plus, he kicks inside or kicks outside. I'm sorry, which Spags loves. He likes to move his guys up and down the line. Always has his eyes up. Batted more balls than anybody else in the NCAA last season. He's a good pick. I would be happy if they took him somewhere, maybe at late 3rd round to maybe the 4th round if he were to fall that far. So there's some guys out there for that, Peter. But I think kind of today we kind of covered that with Tyleik Williams, I think.
Yeah, I think if you want to go defensive tackle, Darius Alexander from Toledo could be a sleeper pick there at the end of the 1st if you want to go that route. I think Josh Farmer out of FSU, the Chiefs have met with him. I think he's got that capability. I love CJ West out of Indiana. He's got a little bit shorter arms. He's more of a slasher, a gap kind of guy, but at 316, he can definitely do that. But he reminds me of like Turk style, but he's just bigger. And nobody could stop CJ West at the Senior Bowl. Like, this dude eat everybody's lunch. Jamari Caldwell out of Oregon, really like him at 6'2", 332. There were times that Jamari Caldwell looked better on film than Derek Harmon. Derek Harmon had the big, everybody, horned up over him. Jamari Caldwell, to me, sometimes just played him off the field. I think Warren Brinson out of Georgia, the Chiefs have met with him, 6'5", 315. I think he could do it. If you just wanted a straight run stuffer, and that's all you wanted, if you wanted Mike Pennell, go get Zeke Biggers out of Georgia Tech, 6'5 and a half, 321, and that's what he does. He shuts down the run game. Cam Jackson out of Florida, that big cat. Wasn't he the one that come out and weighed in like 364? I guess if you want to go do that. But, I like that. And even at defensive end, Steve, there's a couple defensive ends that we like and we didn't really talk about a lot. But I actually did talk about this dude, Jordan Birch out of Oregon, 6'4", 279.
Yeah, he's been a Birch guy from
He can play
on.
defensive tackle and defensive end. He's perfect on the Spag scheme. He can kick inside, outside. He's very good against the run. He's good on the stunts. If the Chiefs were to take Birch at the end of the second, early third, somewhere in that range, I'd be ecstatic over him too. That kid run a 4.67 40 at 279 pounds at defensive end, which is elite. That's one of the fastest, if not the fastest, 40-yard dash times.
Yep. Buck and Bob said they're going to be hanging out with us for the draft. Appreciate that. If you guys are here right now, we'd appreciate it a lot if you guys hung out with us for the draft, man. There's going to be a lot of guys going, a lot of people on live streams, of course, all the TV coverage and everything. But we would appreciate it big time if you come hang out with us through the draft. I think our draft coverage is pretty fun, and we had a good time last year and the year before that. Mike likes to toot his own horn a little bit, but that's fine because Mike picks a lot of things right. We might come up with some kind of a mock of what we think everybody might do in the first round. Potentially. We'll see. But yeah, come hang out with us. That'll be a fun time. We got Ron here with the gifted membership. Let's freaking go,
Appreciate you,
Ron.
Ron.
Appreciate you, brother. If you got that membership, make sure to thank him. But yeah, man, it's going to be a fun one. It's exciting that the draft is here already. It's all downhill from here. You get the rookie camp, the OTAs, the camp. I mean, it's just from here. It's just you slide right into freaking August, and next thing you know, it's preseason football. So the worst of the worst is behind us, ladies and gentlemen. We're now going to hit the draft here, and we'll have a lot of fun talking about each pick and even evaluating the picks that the Chiefs do and all that fun stuff. But real quick, if you joined us late, we did our final mock draft collaborative. Let's go over it real quick, Mike, and then I want you guys to grade the draft from A through F, whatever you think it might be. Go ahead and grade the draft as we go over it one more time with you guys just quickly. We took Luther Burden at pick 31. So I think if he falls there, the Chiefs are looking to add to the pass attack via Patrick Mahomes. So I think they take that shot. You have to if he's there, right? Good value. Pick 63, we took cornerback Darian Porter. This guy ranked second in all cornerbacks in athleticism. A complete freak. He just started playing cornerback a year or two ago. I think that Mike's real happy about something.
I just thought of something. I almost said it, and then I realized it's something I cannot say. I seriously cannot say it.
You looked real happy with yourself, though.
Because I thought if I said it, you would turn beet red, and you would probably kill me after it's over with, and then you may delete me as your brother.
All right.
So I won't say it.
That's probably a good decision. But Darian Porter, this guy, he could kind of fill in that L'Jarius Sneed type role. Long, fast. What in the hell's happening right now?
Thought about it.
Struggle bussing over
Just
there.
thought about if I did say it.
Just not.
I'm not.
Tell you what.
You kind of know what I'm talking about?
Not even a little bit.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No. So this kid, I think now, it could be a bit of an overdraft to take him at the end of the second round, but it's also interchangeable with the guy that we take at 66, was top of the third, which was defensive tackle Tyleik Williams. Mike, let him know about Tyleik Williams real quick. No balls, Mike.
Really like Tyleik Williams, man. He's a big dude.
How about instead of trying to think of things to trash me, you help me a little bit? How about that?
Yeah, he collapsed the pocket. We really liked him.
Jeez.
Tyleik Williams could go mid-second even. I think he's got that potential. He plays just mean. He's got a big old club hand. He'll beat you down. He's physically violent. Like, he's just violent. I want somebody that's mean and violent that can go in there and beat up people so Chris Jones cannot have 17 guys on him every play, right? Like, I want somebody to eat some double teams. And if you're going to double team Chris Jones, guess what? Tyleik Williams is going to throw your little center all over the field.
Yeah.
So good luck with that. Tyleik Williams is a man amongst boys at Ohio State.
Yeah, for sure. And then in the 4th round, we ended up taking one of my favorite picks, honestly. If they were to do this and they were to get him there, I'd be ecstatic. We took Wyatt Milum, tackle from West Virginia. So this kid, all you have to say, 2,000 plus snaps in college, never let up one sack. Also, if you slide him inside the guard, I guarantee you he's going to be an all-pro guard, Joe Tooney-esque. And it's an insurance plan at left tackle. Just in case Moore doesn't work out over there, then, hey, you got Wyatt Milum, a guy that let up 0 sacks in his entire college career. I love that pick, dude. Love it, and I would be ecstatic. And then we went ahead and went with the running back in round 4. We had Milum at round 3, pick 95, correct?
Yeah, he was the second pick.
So
3.
round 4, we ended up taking Damien Martinez, running back from Miami. Bigger body guy, but he's a workhorse back, but he can do a lot of things for you. Pretty exciting pick, honestly. The Chiefs have been all over him, and I think he could do a lot of different things there. It's a little bit different than the mold of running backs that we've had, but he still can do a lot of those things, like get to the second level consistently and make big plays for you.
Yep, 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, basically.
Yep.
I mean, he's good. I think he's had like 30 touchdowns in those 3 years. So, I mean, he could play. You know who's a big Bro Schmo? We usually do some draft content with Bro Schmo every year. We didn't get to do it this year. Just everything got busy and got wild, so we didn't get to do anything with Bro Schmo. But we love him. He's a Miami Hurricane guy. He loves Damien Martinez. I think he would freak out if we were like, dude, we got Damien Martinez coming in to get a ring with us. He's going to be like, well, better than the Dolphins.
He'll like that pick. He would like that pick.
Then
on into the 7th round, we had 3 picks in the 7th round. At 226, we took wide receiver Isaiah Neyor.
Love that pick.
From Nebraska. He also played at Texas his senior year, and then he had a huge year with Wyoming his junior year.
Nebraska.
Did I say it backwards?
Yeah.
I thought he went to Nebraska
Started
after
with
Texas.
Wyoming, went to Texas, got injured, ended up with Nebraska.
That's exactly what I said. So
I didn't even
quit
hear you say
correcting me, sir. His junior year with Wyoming, it was a monster year. His quarterback, when targeting him, had a 121 passer rating, 20 yards per reception, 12 touchdowns. Number 2 rated athlete out of all wide receivers in this draft, and he's kind of sliding under the radar, man. He don't drop balls. Catches everything. I think he could be a huge pick for the Chiefs if he were to be around 7th. And then at 251, we took another athletic freak, a guy with 2 first names, linebacker from Pittsburgh, Brandon George. This guy had one of the best RAS scores of anyone in the RAS score era. So out of all draft picks in the last how many ever years, this guy rated in the top so many percent. I think this would be an intriguing pick, right? I feel like he kind of gives you a lot of what Leo does. A downhill player, likes to hit, super fast, can do a lot of things, and strong. Big-time special teams guy, so it's something that Dave Tobe's going to love. And then at pick 257,
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant, Keonte Hamilton, who could be a draft steal.
He's not irrelevant in my book, Steven.
No, you see him going up the boards a little bit. A lot of people thought he's a UDFA. You start seeing people wanting to draft him now, people talking about him, a little bit of buzz. Just another freak athlete, but double dipping at defensive tackle, I think, seems like a thing the Chiefs could do, and I like that pick as well. So you guys go ahead and grade that draft, A through F, however you feel about it, and let's see it.
We got 2 bomb from Peter. He says, trading Veach for Mike. I'll take it, man. But look, I want Veach on my team. Veach is too clever.
Yeah.
You think Veach is shorter than I am?
Oh, yeah. Right? I don't know. What are you, 5'10"?
I'm 6 foot even.
Oh, I didn't give you no credit.
You didn't.
I feel
We've
like
been
a tower.
Steve, we've been brothers for 40 years.
I feel like I tower over everybody, though. I'm only 6'3", but I feel like everybody's short around me. Like, I always feel like I'm looking down.
Jeez Louise, bro.
My bad, bro. 3 inches took up a lot, you know?
That's a lot. I
Hey.
should know. Shut up. And speaking of 3 inches, Pops in the house. Pops in the. Hey, you know what? Hold up. I'm going to give Pops the 3-inch
Hey.
joke.
Hey, that's funny. You know what? But he blasted out two of the most beautiful baby boys ever.
I
Hey, look at us. We did okay.
Hey, we got live footage of Pops in high school. Here we go.
That's right, baby. Nice and slow. Oh, yeah.
Pops in here.
Let's
with
go, man.
With 5 gifted. You know what, Pops? I'm going to give you the. I'm giving the train. I'm giving the train.
Let's
The
go,
train's coming
baby.
through.
Appreciate it, old man.
Pops probably loved the Milum pick. Pops is a big Wyatt Milum guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't you be? As soon as I saw that guy, I thought, this is somebody that Chiefs could really use, you know. Pops has got pretty big on Milum, though.
Steve, you're getting a little sus. I didn't know where you're going with that. You said as soon as I saw that guy, I was like, don't be looking at men that way, Steve.
And I'm the sus one.
You know what? I'd still love you if you looked at men that way, Steve.
Well, it's yeah, whatever. Buck and Bob, he is in a Airbnb, by the way. That's why it's so white behind him. Still treading the water over there at his house, I guess, redoing the whole
Brendan
thing.
said, hire me as an assistant GM.
Hey,
I'll take Borgonzi's spot.
Look, I'm kind of starting to get offended because I thought we were a package deal. I thought we would be interviewing for the job together, like stepbrothers, wear tuxedos.
Okay, Buck and Bob. He said, would Steve come with Mike if Mike got hired for the Chiefs?
I mean, because if that's the case, then you're an easy hire. Because
Yeah, you get 2.
yeah.
And Kansas City is a great place to live in, Buck. Or Bob, or whichever one's here. You know, I wouldn't
Bob,
be opposed to living down in KC, up in KC, left in KC.
Left
KC would be
How about West?
west in KC.
Actually, I think Tasia called something left one time because she was looking at the map, and I was like, "You mean West, right? Like you just did
Yeah.
it too." Now she doesn't have to feel so bad.
Yeah, Mike's in an Airbnb. I'm in downtown Louisville. In a pretty shady spot, to be honest. But
Right by Churchill Downs, baby.
Yeah,
You're gonna
pretty
get over
close.
there and bet on some horse racing.
that's one thing. Okay, look, so Churchill Downs is coming up at like Kentucky
Yeah, it's
Derby's
almost
here in like a
Derby
week.
time, right?
Right. So all these Airbnbs are through the roof. They're just price gouging me. And but anyway, yeah. If you come to the great city of Louisville and you want to go to Churchill Downs, just know that Churchill Downs is pretty much in a ghetto.
Yeah, it's sketchy.
It's very sketchy. Like
It's not somewhere you just want to walk around and hang out at.
So that's where I'm at, and I'm hoping it goes well. You know,
Lock your doors.
yeah, it's pretty wild, dude. It's not a great neighborhood over here.
No,
but,
not by any means.
Hopefully, it'll be good here for a week or two, and we'll be fine. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about the horses, man. We always get the draft, then we get some horse racing. We always turn into degenerate horse racing gamblers.
Yeah. Hey, I hit though on that long shot like 2 years ago.
You did.
It was like a 58-1 odds or something, and I totally hit.
I used to have that uncanny ability back in like grade school when the teacher
to
would
always pick it.
to always pick the horse. I picked it every year for like
Well,
7
I'll tell you
straight
why
years.
we always missed sometimes. Like we would miss a lot though because our grandpa, well, he was our step grandpa, but he always taught us to pick, like always go for the gray horses. Right? Like
Yeah.
he loved the gray horses, so we would always pick it and we would lose. And once we got off of that bandwagon, we started getting pretty good at it.
Yeah, because gray horses don't ever do too well.
Usually not.
Are they like genetically inferior or something?
They're old, man. That's why they're gray. They're too old to win.
You think that's why gray horses exist? Is they're just old and turned gray?
What if that was real? What if that was real? All right, guys. Well, we appreciate y'all being here. It's getting late. It's past midnight where I'm at, and yeah, everybody's got work and all that good stuff.
Dude,
Can't
one
wait
more
to
day
get
of
up
work.
can't wait to get up in 4 hours, get the kids ready for school. That's gonna
2
be
more
fun.
days of work. My bad. Today's only Wednesday?
Yeah, today's Wednesday. The draft's tomorrow
Yeah,
on Thursday.
so we got 2
Mike.
days of work, 3 days of draft.
Yeah. So, yeah, come hang out with us at the draft. Mike's going to get this bad boy rolling sometime around probably 7:30-ish, something in that range. Draft kicks off at 8, I think.
Yeah.
I'll be in as soon as I can, and it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a good time. Appreciate y'all being here tonight. Shout out everybody who completely kicked ass on gifting memberships tonight and the donos. You guys are freaking awesome. I think you guys contributed to like 40 46 new members.
That's freaking incredible.
You guys are freaking amazing. That's awesome. If you all got that, make sure to show them some love in the chat, all that good stuff. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already. And like I said 15 other times, come hang out with us through the draft because we're going to be here. We're going to be grinding it out. It's going to be a good time. And we'll see you then. Go Chiefs. Get horned, baby.
Get wild.